So today in this podcast, also it's gonna be a video. It's gonna be a very bad video podcast. Let's be honest here. Also, I just don't feel like overlapping my thing on it. But today we'll be telling scary stories. So, in hindsight, I probably should have thought of a scary story before I hit record. That probably would have been a smart idea.
Yep.
I don't want to retell the scary story I told last podcast. The one about the doll.
Yeah.
I don't want to retell that story.
Nah, it's freaky.
Not because it's freaky. Because only wusses don't handle scary.
I know.
Only babies get scared. But we could talk about the boy with, or the big toe. Boy with the big toe. There's a book in the back. There's a black book in the back. Try and find it. It has a whole bunch of scary stories.
Damn, dude.
We're really killing the mood. We're really bringing up shit today. Five Nights at Freddy's?
Nope. It's just a black cover.
Oh.
I gotta.
There's scary
I'm
stories
gonna
in
keep
there.
the light on that
That's fine. I can see.
because I can't read in the dark. Here, let's actually just go around the page. Stop.
And we can read some scary stories.
Oh wait.
This book is literally called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. So
Wonderful sausage. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, I'm Riley Drake, Big Russ here, as always, and I will be telling your story.
He will be reading for you this fine evening.
I will.
Basically making an audiobook.
And I'll try to keep it as scary voiced as possible.
As scary as possible.
But before we start, did you want to do Dollar General tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay. One dark, rainy Saturday afternoon, a fat and jolly butcher named Samuel Blunt had an argument over money with his wife, Eloise. Blunt lost his temper and killed Eloise. Then,
Do more of a Blunt lost his temper.
but then they can't hear me.
No, like you can get a little closer if you want. Like Blunt lost his temper and killed Alloway.
Then he ground her up into sausage meat and buried her bones underneath a big flat rock in the backyard. To keep the murder a secret, he told everyone that she had moved away. Dun 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 dun. Blunt mixed his new sausage meat with pork and then seasoned it with salt and pepper. Added some sage and thyme and a bit of garlic. To give it a special flavor, he smoked it in his smokehouse for a while. He called it Blunt's Special Sausage. There was such a demand for the new sausage that
Let's
Blunt
put it
bought...
bluntly. That's some pretty good sausage.
I know.
Get it?
Yep. There was such a demand for this new sausage that Blunt brought the best hogs he could find and started raising his own pork. He also kept a sharp lookout for any humans who might make a tasty sausage meat. One day, a nice plump school teacher came into his shop. Blunt grabbed her, ground her up. Another time, Blunt's dentist came by. He was little round man, and into the grinder he went. Then one by one, the children in the neighborhood began to disappear. And so did their kittens and puppies. Poor puppies. But no one ever dreamed that Blunt had anything to do with it. Things went on that way for years. Then one day, Blunt made a big mistake. A fat boy came into the butcher shop. Blunt grabbed him and started to drag him off into the sausage grinder, but the boy broke loose and ran out of the shop. And Blunt chased him, waving the big butcher knife. And when people saw this, they realized at once what he had become. All of the missing children and grown-ups into the butcher shop. An angry crowd gathered at the butcher shop. No one knows for sure what had happened to Blunt that day. Some say he was fed to his hogs. Others say he was fed into sausage grinder, but he was never seen again. and neither was his wonderful sausage meat.
That was not scary at all.
It wasn't.
At all. Okay, I'm going to retell that scary story I told last time, even though you've all already heard it, but it'll get me into the scary storytelling mood. So, I'm at my grandmother's. Actually, maybe I can think of a good story to tell from those scary story animations. This is the story of why you never never do online dating. So, and again, this is from an animated storyteller, so this is not from me. This is not a personal story. I don't want y'all to think that I did online dating or something. But, so I recently got out of a bad relationship and felt like I needed to get back on the horse. So I went on to a dating website. The name of the website is irrelevant, but I matched with this guy who didn't really want to show any pictures of his face, but he did tell me where he lived. He told me his name. He was open. He just didn't show pictures of his face. So we kept talking. Actually, I'm going to cut this story short and go to a different story that I recently saw that I can actually know for a fact that I saw. You guys have heard of the dark web, right? Well,
Boy, have I.
one night I went on to the dark web just to see what all the fuss is about.
Are those even real?
Is this what?
Are those even real? Because I've tried
Dark webs?
looking those up and I couldn't really find anything. So I don't know if they're real or not.
But I went on this video chatting site and I saw this one girl.
The dark web.
She had her camera on, but I had my camera off because it's the dark web and I didn't want people to see where I live. So she had her camera on and she kept talking to me and she kept asking me to turn my camera on. I ignore the question and keep talking with her, learning more about her, and we just keep chatting. She persistently asks, turn your camera on, turn your camera on, turn your camera on. She eventually turns her camera off and uses the chat box on the side. Think of Omegle. Let's picture Omegle. And she keeps texting the same words. Turn your camera on. Turn your camera on. Turn your camera on. I keep ignoring her. I say, no, I'm not turning my camera on. Then she turns her camera back on, but something's different.
Dude, I'm actually getting on the edge of my seat now.
Something's not quite right. Her eyes.
Something's off.
Her eyes seem a little bit different. They seem not quite human. They seem like they just seen a ghost. But then, I noticed something in the background. The back of her room. It's a man. Wearing one of those plague doctor masks.
What?
And I try to tell her.
What's a plague doctor mask?
You'll look it up later.
Oh, you mean like the blue one?
No, it's like the giant bird snout. Giant.
Oh, yes. I know.
And I try to tell her, hey, there's somebody in your room. She plays it off as if I'm joking. Like, oh, you're so funny. I keep telling her, no, I'm serious. There's someone in your room. She keeps thinking I'm joking. So the man gets closer and closer. And as he moves closer, her eyes seem to lose more and more sign of humanity. Seem to lose more and more of a soul. Until the man gets close enough and puts his hand on her shoulder. And then she snaps her head to the side. Her eyes are unhumanly wide at this point. They're so open. not physically possible to open them up that wide. And then my mouse starts moving on its own. Starts moving to the turn camera on button. I try my best to stop it. I pick the mouse up off the desk. That doesn't work. I keep trying to keep it away from the button. That doesn't work. I unplug my mouse completely. That doesn't work. So I panic. And I unplug my computer. The screen is still on. It's still moving closer and closer to the turn on camera button. So, at that point, I say, screw it. I take a bat and break my computer. And as I'm standing there, bat in hand, computer smashed to bits, I'm breathing heavily. What just happened? Well, who was that man in the back of the video? Who was that girl? And I go to bed. And right as I close my eyes, I hear the words, "Turn your camera on." The end.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, it was.
You left it on a cliffhanger. What the fuck? Is there a part 2?
Do you want a part 2?
Well, not now, but yeah, I want a part 2. You gotta think.
I haven't seen the part 2. I'll have to make the part 2 up on my own. All that video was actually from a video.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Which video?
They're called Scary Stories Animated or something.
Oh.
But how about one more for the road? Just one more quick.
We'll finish up with part 2 then.
There was no part 2. They always leave off on a cliffhanger. Always. They've never actually had like a part 2. If there's a cliffhanger, they're gonna leave it on there, which kind of sucks. But so here's a story of.
Hey, my turn.
Are you sure you can tell a better scary story than me? Hey, come on, man.
Well, we don't know unless you let me.
Okay.
I'm fucking seeing bunnies.
Okay.
There's a lot of bunnies everywhere. There's one there. There's one there.
Okay.
Okay.
You tell a scary story. I'll tell another scary story. Then you tell a second.
We're gonna be here for fucking ever.
Also, watch. Actually, you can say whatever.
This is 18 over. All right.
But I want to tell. There's another scary story that I want to tell. So.
Well, then tell it on your separate podcast.
This is my podcast.
This is our podcast.
No, this is going to my podcast. I don't have this access to your podcast, and I can't send it to you. So this will be going on to my podcast.
Then why am I on it?
Because why not? Doesn't hurt. Okay, tell your serious story.
Okay, so one night I was sleeping in my bed and I hear a noise. Wake up. I think nothing of it. I go back to bed. I hear a knock at the door and I think it's my dad. And the name is just spewing over and over and over. Riley, come help me get into bed. And I'm like, what the hell? I get up, I go to the door, there's no one there. So, I go to Papa Jeff's room, my dad. He's in bed, sleeping as soundly as he can be. I go back to my bed. My blanket's off my bed, and it's on my dresser. And I pull it off, think nothing of it. Like, okay, odd, maybe I threw it over there, in the whole commotion. I get back into bed, I hear a big old thump come from my door again. This time, I hear my door come open. There's no one there. So, I get up, I start walking towards my door. Wham! The door shuts. I'm freaking the hell out. I'm opening the door, I'm trying, I'm banging on the door. And then, I hear my window behind me open, and I see a foot step in my room. And the funny thing was, it was my dad. Dun, 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 dun. I'm sorry, I couldn't keep that together. That was horrible.
All right.
I'm not very good at telling horror stories unless it's
it wasn't bad. I will give that a solid C.
a C.
A good middle of the road.
But no,
Passing grade.
That was
There you
fucking horrible though. I'm not very good at telling horror stories.
Okay, so this is the story of the drive-through clown.
I gotta be like super into it.
This is the story of the drive-through clown. So,
Okay.
I work at a Burger King. I work the drive-through. And typically it's quiet night. You'll get the occasional weirdo asking for a special thing that's not on the menu. But this night was different. This night, there was somebody walking up to the drive-thru, which isn't uncommon. We occasionally get the person who doesn't have a driver's license but still doesn't feel like going in. But he knocks on the window. I open it, say, "Excuse me, sir, you need a car to go through the drive-thru." He says, "I'll take a Whopper, please." I repeat what I said before. "You need a car to go through the drive-thru." He repeats what he said. I said, "I want a Whopper." I was close to the end of my shift. My boss has already left for the day. I was done. Did you fart?
Sorry.
That smells disgusting, dude. We're in the middle of this story.
I'm gonna leave you with it, buddy.
Alright, no, but like, my boss has left for the day. Did you fart?
I just told you I did.
No, I know, but like, it was bad enough that I interrupted the story.
Oh.
You know what? It's good enough. I'm gonna leave you guys on a cliffhanger. Another one. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button.
And if you're not subscribed, what are you doing?
Come on. I mean, you heard it from the big moose himself. Come on.
What are you doing?
Come on, pal. And if you didn't like this video, I mean, you made it this far in the video, so clearly you liked it at least a little bit.
Alright, I'll say that bye.
Bye. So, you clearly liked it at least a little bit. I said stay on.